Hey, all right, so I'm still on leave. I'm not at the college, um, but I'm checking everything, messages and everything from home pretty regularly. So for online, you may not have noticed anything that's changed. Just send me messages on Blackboard, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. We are at week 9. We're really close to the semester being over. There's 11 weeks, the whole semester, so 2 more after this. On Monday and Wednesday, you've got your exam 5, which is on chapters 9, 10, 11, and 12. So again, that was the cell cycle and mitosis. Meiosis was how we made sperm cells and egg cells. 11 was genetics, and then 12 was where we talked about DNA. So that's 4 chapters, but they're all pretty closely related. So I don't think just make sure you're prepared for it, and this should be a pretty straightforward exam. It's open Monday through Tuesday. So you have those 48 hours to take it. Just make sure you schedule a time to do that. Make sure you say, like, this is when I'm going to take the test so that life doesn't happen and you end up not being able to do it. After you do the exam, the other assignments for this week. So here's the good news, bad news. Good news is that we have our last lab assignment. The bad news is that this one is our longest one, so I wanted to make sure that you set aside plenty of time to do this. Let me back up real quick though. So for the lectures this week, you're going to watch chapter 20, so just that one chapter, and it's on bacteria and archaea and viruses. So we're going to be looking at like microscopic organisms that can make you sick. And this is completely my fault on the virus section. I have not updated it yet to include COVID. I'm waiting for the next edition of the book to come out, so I've got like images and everything to go by. Here's my cat, by the way. Sorry, that's joining me for this video. So that's not included. I'm aware of COVID. I didn't miss that. But so that's not included, but it's going to be viruses, archaea, and bacteria. Okay. You've got a review quiz that's going to be due Sunday, July 30th. Now, this review quiz is different from the other ones that we've done so far. One of the things we have to record in this class is like how well you can identify different types of bacteria. So this one's going to be a little different. When you go to the quizzes tab, there's going to be 2 items. One of them says visual identification guide for bacteria. And what it is, it's going to be like a document, a Word document that you can open up, and it walks you through how to tell the different types of bacteria. So read through that. You can print it off. You can have it pulled up on your computer. And then once you feel pretty comfortable with that, you can open up the quiz. It's going to have different pictures of bacteria, and you're just going to, multiple choice, you're going to identify what type it is. And you can use that document when you're taking the quiz. That's perfectly okay. All right. You've got a discussion board on genetics. So this one's kind of different. This is a new procedure that some countries are starting to do that can eliminate genetic conditions that are inherited from the mother by getting a third biological parent's donor egg, and then they take that donor egg and they remove the nucleus, and then they take the other biological mother and put that nucleus inside the donor egg. That's just really interesting. It's kind of related to what we've been talking about. So what I want you to do, I've got links to 2 different radio stories that kind of cover this, and I'm asking you there's going to be 2 different threads. You need to leave a thread in the pro column and a thread in the con column. Now, I'm not asking you to agree or to disagree with this type of procedure, but what I want you to do is just think through complex issues and say, this is a potential positive that could come from this type of procedure, and then think this is a potential negative. This is something that might be a bad thing that comes from that type of procedure or technology. All right. So it's a little different. You don't have to respond to another student if you don't want to, but you are more than welcome to. But I'll be grading you on your pro column post and your con column post. All right. Okay. Now, finally, the lab. This one is on genetics. So it covers Punnett squares. It does a lot of, honestly, kind of more detailed math. You're going to do something called chi-square analysis, where you can figure out if the results you get are just random, or if you think there's another factor that's causing those to take place. So for example, if you were flipping a coin and you did it 100 times, you're actually going to do that for part of the lab, you would expect to get about 50 heads and 50 tails. Chi-square analysis is a way to figure out how many heads and tails you get. Is that random, or is there something wrong with the coin that can make it happen more one way or the other? All right. So just heads up, it says it takes an estimated 4 hours to do that. Some of the math can be kind of tricky because this is not a math class. So what I've done is I've worked through a few sample problems. When you pull up SI Cloud, the website, there's going to be videos embedded kind of like in this message. And if you'll click play on the videos, I'll work through some sample problems and you can just plug in your numbers and do the same thing. And you should get pretty good answers. All right. Okay, now finally, last thing is there's an end of semester survey. If you'll go to quizzes at the very bottom, it's end of semester. This is just a chance for you to give me some feedback about the class. If there were parts you thought went well, parts like tell me how helpful you thought the different parts of the class were. And then you can just leave me some general feedback if you want to. That's going to be due last day of the semester, which is Wednesday, August 9th. And it's worth 5 bonus points. So when you do the quiz, it's going to say you got a 0 because I had to make it bonus. But once you answer the quiz, I'll go in and I'll add your 5 bonus points for doing that. All right. So that's it for this week. Those are the only assignments that are open now, but just a couple things I wanted to remind you of. Next Tuesday, so August the 1st, that's the deadline to withdraw from classes. So my focus right now would be on exam 4 and study and do everything you can to do well on exam 4. But after you do that test and after I grade it, look and see what your average is. And if your average is lower than it needs to be in this class, send me a message and let me know. And we can look at what is it going to take to bring your grade up to where it needs to be. Or we can, I would say like definitely if you're failing, message me and let's talk about what it's going to take to bring your grade up to passing if that's possible. But just if you've got any questions or concerns about your grade, you can reach out to me with that too. Remember, it still might take me a little longer to get back with you, but I'll answer any questions that you have and I'll be glad to help. All right, and then finally, the last thing is that next Monday and Tuesday is the comprehensive makeup exam. Now, this is only for students who have missed an exam earlier in the semester and have contacted me about taking the makeup. So if you haven't missed an exam, you don't have to worry about this. What I would do, like even if you're just wanting to bring your grade up, I would spend that time really preparing for exam 5, your final exam. It's just on 2 chapters, and that's a really good chance to do really well at the very end of the semester. All right. But just if that applies to you, if you did miss an exam earlier in the semester, and if you have any questions about that, let me know. But we'll have a comprehensive makeup exam. So just so we're aware, comprehensive means it's going to cover materials from the first 4 exams, 1, 2, 3, and 4. All of those exams are going to be on the makeup. All right. So that's it. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be glad to help.